Well, this is John Black, super chemist. We're still talking about George Bush's relatives. I want you to read up here. You know, I thought at first there was these different families, right? That's what the elites are. They're just you got your Adamses, like John Adams and John Quincy Adams. They were father and son, and they were presidents. You got the Bushes, George Bush and his son, and then you got uh, Franklin Roosevelt and Theodore Roosevelt. They're fifth cousins. Then you got here, this guy's, here comes an even worse, right? Because I'm thinking there's different, you got the Roosevelt family, you got the Bush family, you know what I mean? And you got the Adams family, and you got the Kennedy family. But no, that ain't the way it is. The Kennedys aren't related to anybody. But look at this. We already know that George Bush is related to James Madison, right? Now look at this. James Madison is also related to Zachary Taylor. They're distant cousins. They're through the same. They're all related to King Edward I and Queen Elizabeth II from the England. It all goes back to there, and a lot of it goes through Samuel Hinckley. Now let's go to this Vita Brevis.AmericanAncestries.org, and let's scroll down and see what it says. Following up on I noted that the presidents Theodore and Franklin Roosevelt's kinship by marriage was the closer way they connected, as their closest kinship by blood was that of fifth cousins. See what I'm saying? There's always like several ways, or at least two ways, that these people are related. It's like they're all inbred, just like kings and queens used to do back in the day. They didn't just have sex with commoners, they had sex with their relatives. And then they, once in a while, they'd have a king or queen from another country that that they'd have a marriage with. They were all inbred people, man. Okay, and here's some, seeing how they're related or whatever. If you can go to that site, I don't know if that's, you can read it on my video, but it's common knowledge that they were cousins, the Roosevelts. Harrison, there was the Harrisons. They were grandfather and grandson. There was two presidents named Harrison. We said about the Adams already, and the other one, the Bushes. We mentioned in the last video, last site, James Madison and Zachary Taylor are second cousins through common Taylor ancestry of Virginia, as well as second cousins through their Thornton ancestry. And then here's a little thingy how Zachary Taylor and James Madison link up, or one of the 50 ways that they link up, because they're all inbred. Let's see here what else it says. There's an ancestry of American presidents. You can look up stuff on there. They have charts and stuff. But let's read what they have here. Okay. Second cousins, Martin Van Buren and Theodore Roosevelt. Second cousins, Franklin Pierce and George W. Bush. Third cousins, Martin Van Buren and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Of course, if Martin Van Buren is related to Theo, they're telling you he's third cousins this way and second cousins this way. But he's related to both Roosevelts. Third cousins, John Adams and Calvin Coolidge. Third cousins, James Madison and Barack Obama. Let's see. Fourth cousins, William, that's the Harrison guy, William Henry Harrison and John Tyler. Now another one, John Tyler. Ulysses Grant and Franklin FDR Roosevelt. Uh, but see what we're doing here is we're linking up all the families. If you write these all down, you'll see that they end up like the Roosevelts and the Bushes, they're related. The Adams, they're related. They're all related. They all go back to the same people. So, fourth cousins, Lyndon B. Johnson and Barack Obama. Fourth cousins, John Quincy Adams and Calvin Coolidge. Franklin Pierce and Calvin Coolidge. Zachary Taylor and Jimmy Carter. Fourth cousins, Milford Fillmore and George H.W. Bush. Let's see, James Madison, and remember James Madison, we know he's with Bush, and Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, still got 8 minutes. So there we go, right here. James Madison and Theodore Roosevelt. So that links up the Bushes to all the Roosevelts. And it links them up to the Calvin Coolidge, Franklin Pierce, all the other people that I didn't know they were related to. Now I see that they're all related, fourth cousins, Milford Fillmore and George W. Bush. I think I did that already. Fourth cousins, Zachary Taylor and FDR. Obviously, most of these closer kinships later, earlier, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. John Quincy Adams and Franklin Pierce at fourth cousins. But there's just Gerald Ford through George's making Ford and Obama 11th cousins. So Gerald Ford and Obama are 11th cousins. It's never ending. And here you got they show you a little, all the relatives, the genealogy, linking, what's his face, Gerald Ford with Barack Obama. And what's funny is a lot of these people don't even give their real names. Like Gerald Ford, his real name is Leslie Lynch King Jr. Barack Hussein Obama, his name is like Barry Sotoros. None of them. Bill Clinton, his last name isn't Clinton. It's something else. He changed it. Like all these people just change their names too. Like what is wrong with them? Gerald Ford and George W. Bush, 11th cousins. They have common ancestry all the way back to England. We know that. Who that? It's Queen Elizabeth II, and it's Edward I, King Edward. So okay, let's look at this next one now, right? It's called TraceYOurPast.com. Tracy, TRACEY, our past.com. These famous kins of Thomas Jefferson. Now, you probably can't see it on the thing, so I'll just read it for you. But he's related to Marilyn Monroe. This chick right here, I don't know who she is, but I think she's famous. Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know who that is. Probably an actress. Hilton, Paris Hilton. What do we got here? General Robert E. Lee. James Madison, right? So now we're linked James Madison up with Thomas Jefferson, and Thomas Jefferson's linked up to George Washington, George H.W. Bush, Abraham Lincoln. I think that's the guy who did the peanut butter, Carver. I can't. Oh, Anderson Cooper. I think that's the. And look, here it is. King Edward the First. Boom. Always back to him. Princess Diana. Let's see here. Former U.S. Okay, kin to Thomas Jefferson. Now we know now that George Bush is related to him, right? And what does it say up here? It says the infograph above shows that Thomas Jefferson is related to James Madison, 11th cousins. John Quincy Adams, he's related to him. Zachary Taylor was also his distant cousin. Benjamin Harrison, and there's two Harrisons, a grandfather and a grandson that are related. George H.W. Bush, Warren Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Jimmy Carter, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Grover Cleveland, all shared Thomas Jefferson's DNA. Also Richard Nixon, his 14th cousins with Thomas Jefferson. William Harrison, we said that one, 11th cousins. And yes, the founding father George Washington and Abraham Lincoln all have family ties to Thomas Jefferson, which means they have family ties to George Bush. Actors: Humphrey Bogart, Katharine Hepburn, Bing Crosby, all shared Thomas Jefferson's genes, and also George Bush's. Western film hero Randolph Scott, 11th cousins. Elizabeth Montgomery, 11th cousins. Christopher Reeve, Marilyn Monroe, Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know who that is. It's first cousins. And Paris Hilton, also 11th cousins. Let's see some more. What are his royal connections? Princess Diana, Prince William, Kate Middleton, Queen Elizabeth II, and King Edward I. Those two always come up. Authors that write books. Harper Lee did To Kill a Mockingbird. Robert Frost, he was a poet and a playwright. Frank Lloyd Wright, 11th cousins. Susan B. Anthony, Helen Keller. Who else? Francis Scott Key, the guy who did the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, and there are many. Okay, now I want you to take into consideration. Now we have pretty much gone through this there's only, if you go from Obama all the way back to Washington, George Washington, there's only been 6 times where the president or the vice president or both wasn't related to Bush. 44. Obama was the 44th president. 44 presidents. And only 6 of them weren't related to Bush. Only 6 of them out of 44, out of 230 years of country, only 6 presidents have not been royalty that have been all related to King Edward I and Queen Elizabeth II and Samuel Hinckley and George Bush. Okay? I just think this is all kind of weird. Okay? I think it's just kind of, it's getting too fishy. It's getting too coincidental.